He was a man who challenged every convention, a mystic who built a global empire, and a voice that continues to echo through time. But who was the man behind the name Osho? Forget what you think you know. Today, we're peeling back the layers to uncover the hidden truths of his incredible journey. From a rebellious child to one of the most controversial spiritual figures of the 20th century. This is the story of Chandra Mohan Gyan, the man who would become Osho. Born on December 11, 1931, in a small village in central India, Osho was not your typical child. His parents, who were followers of the Jain faith, found him to be a handful. He was fiercely independent, insatiably curious, and questioned everything. He refused to accept any belief, tradition, or scripture without experiencing its truth for himself. This wasn't just teenage rebellion, it was the foundational stone of his entire philosophy. From a young age, he was fascinated by the ultimate questions of life and death, often spending hours in solitude, meditating, or simply observing the world around him with an intensity that baffled others. His maternal grandparents played a huge role in his early life. They gave him an environment of absolute freedom, with no pressure to conform to any religious or social norms. This freedom allowed his rebellious spirit to flourish. He would experiment with different meditation techniques he read about or invented himself. He challenged local priests, teachers, and politicians, exposing their hypocrisies with a sharp intellect and a playful wit that would later become his trademark. He wasn't trying to be difficult. He was on a relentless quest for truth, and he wouldn't let anything or anyone stand in his way. He saw the world around him as a society of sleeping people, going through the motions of life without ever truly being alive. He was determined not to be one of them. As a young man, he was a brilliant, yet provocative, student. He devoured books on philosophy, psychology, and religion from both East and West. He excelled in academics, particularly in debate, where he would systematically dismantle his opponent's arguments, not to win, but to search for a deeper understanding. He earned his master's degree in philosophy and became a professor at the University of Jaipur. But the world of academia was too small, too rigid for his expansive consciousness. His lectures became less about academic philosophy and more about the practical art of living, of awareness, of meditation. Students flocked to hear him, not just for the curriculum, but for the electrifying energy and radical insights he shared. He wasn't just teaching, he was awakening something within them. He began traveling across India, giving public talks, and challenging the established order wherever he went. He called himself Acharya Rajneesh, meaning teacher Rajneesh. His talks were fiery, humorous, and profoundly insightful. He spoke against politicians, priests, and the dead traditions they represented. He advocated for a life of celebration, not renunciation, and for a synthesis of Zorba, the Greek-s love for life, and Gautama, the Buddha-s silent awareness. This was a revolutionary message in a country steeped in traditions of asceticism and but all this was just the prelude. The defining moment of his life, the event that transformed him from a seeker into a master, was yet to come. For years, he had been experimenting with every meditation technique known to man, pushing his body and mind to their absolute limits. He was on a desperate, 7-year-long search. He had reached a point of total exhaustion, a point where he had tried everything and failed. He had dropped all effort, all seeking, and then it happened. On March 21st, 1953, at the age of 21, while sitting under a mulberry tree in the Bonvartal garden in Jaipur, the universe exploded within him. It wasn't a gradual process, it was a sudden, cataclysmic event. He described it as a state of no mind, a profound silence where the ego, the I, completely dissolved. The seeker was gone, and only the seeing remained. This was his enlightenment. He said, "For many lives I had been working on myself, struggling, doing whatsoever can be done, and nothing was happening. The moment you are not, the divine is." After this experience, everything changed. Yet on the surface, nothing changed. He continued to teach at the university for several more years. But now his words carried a new depth, a new authority. He was no longer speaking from knowledge, but from direct, lived experience. He wasn't a philosopher anymore. He was a mystic, an awakened one. He had found what he was looking for, and now his life's work would be to create the methods and the environment to help others find it for themselves. He stopped traveling and began to establish communities where seekers from all over the world could come and immerse themselves in his work. The first major one was in Pune, India. Here, he developed his revolutionary dynamic meditation, a powerful technique designed for the modern mind. He understood that modern people were so repressed and stressed that they couldn't just sit in silence. They first needed a cathartic outlet to release their inner turmoil. His active meditations, involving shaking, dancing, screaming, and laughing, were designed to do just that, before leading the participant into a state of deep silence and watchfulness. This was the beginning of the Osho phenomenon. He dropped the title Acharya and simply became known as Bhagwan Shree Rajneesh, which he later explained meant the Blessed One. Thousands of people from the West, disillusioned with their materialistic societies, flocked to Pune. They were lawyers, doctors, artists, and therapists, all searching for a deeper meaning to life. In his ashram, they found a vibrant, chaotic, and transformative world. He gave thousands of discourses, speaking on every mystic and sage from Buddha and Jesus to Lao Tzu and Heraclitus, reinterpreting their teachings for the 21st century person. He taught that there is no God other than life itself, and that spirituality should not be a somber affair, but a joyous celebration. He encouraged people to live totally, to experience everything life has to offer, but with complete awareness. He spoke of creating a new man, someone who is both worldly and spiritual. Azorba, the Buddha, this was the core of his vision. A life of richness, both inner and outer. From a rebellious boy in a small Indian village to an enlightened master with a global following. His journey was a testament to his own core message, that the greatest truth is not to be found in any book or any guru, but within your own being. The path is inward. His life, after this period, his move to America, the controversies, and his final years are a whole other chapter, filled with even more intrigue and profound teachings. But the foundation for it all was laid in these early years. An unwavering commitment to individual truth, the courage to challenge the status quo, and the ultimate discovery that enlightenment is not about becoming someone, but about unbecoming everything you think you are, to reveal the silence and the bliss that has always been there. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the early life of Osho. If this story sparked your curiosity, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the lives of the world's greatest mystics and thinkers. Let me know in the comments what you found most surprising about his path to enlightenment. Until next time, stay curious.